It's always been quite a close community. There's, I think, 29 houses here, not all occupied nowadays, but in those days they were all full-time occupiers. There were also some old boys, retired boys, that used to live on one or two houseboats. Some of those houseboats were actually flying boat hulls, and old boats that were no longer seaworthy enough to go to sea.
Well, I'm going to ask, what was a flying boat hull?
A flying boat hull came from Felixstowe air stations, the seaplanes that were probably no longer in production, although of course they were all individually built in those days, most of them built of wood, built by shipwrights, by the way. Shipwrights used to build seaplanes. And the wings were cut off, and I remember at least 3 hulls down here laying in the mud creeks, with which people used to use as houseboats. You must remember that the 53 floods did away with a lot of those houseboats. In fact, it made Jockey homeless because it washed his boat around. I believe he went into a home after that. And Skipper Bryant's boat was broken up as well that night. January 31st, 1953. The bloke was clubbed together and bought another boat for Skipper to live in, and he lived in a little motorboat with a lid on it for several years after that. All the river walls were built up higher after the flood, so we feel that the village is a lot safer now than previous to 1953.